Hello, friends. Yesterday, we did take a look at how the before business role works in order to populate these values, category, subcategory, impact, and urgency from its parent incident. If we take a look at the parent incident, it holds these values, and these were derived onto the child incident. And that was why before business role, we used the URL sysparam referring URL parameter in order to pick up those values, create an object, and reference the field values. That's what we did yesterday. Now, today, let's take a look at how these fields are made read-only. All right. So let me just close this session and let's go back to our working session. Logged in as an admin, so I have access to the access controls. So when I went to the access controls, I could notice one thing, that there are ACLs defined on the fields impact, urgency, category, and subcategory already. So there were two ACLs which were defined at the task level. So whenever the logic is in ACLs, when we are creating ACLs for the child table, the parent table ACLs, field level ACLs can be ignored. It does, because it does override. So on that logic, we can filter out these two. Okay. Now coming to impact. I was trying to validate, or I was trying to impose the restriction that only if the user is the incident manager and if the user is working on a child incident, let this logic of restriction be applied. Okay. Otherwise, allow. So the ACLs that we had in place was the incident.impact that was created by system. We had three ACLs. So ideally, when you have multiple ACLs, how do you judge whether to create one or whether to merge? When it is a system ACL, okay, it's ideally recommended that you don't merge your custom ACLs with the system ones. Let it remain independent. But if you have multiple custom ACLs, it's recommended that you merge those ACLs, especially if the operation is the right ACL. If the operation is the right operation. Hope I am making it clear. System ACLs, keep it untouched, even if it is multiple ACLs for one particular field and one particular operation. Keep it like that. Don't mess around with it. But if you have custom ACLs, then go ahead and merge them, because it is your own defined ACLs. You can merge them. You are sure about the context on which it is defined. So you can very well merge them. Now let's take a look at the ACL that has been defined. So here's the impact ACL. So what we have done here is we have validated it for any backend configurations, like the business rules. If it is trying to write on this field, the impact field on the incident, we should allow the business rule to do the right operation. We don't want that to be blocked. We want it blocked only when a user is trying to edit the field value. Correct? What we have done here is we have fetched the current session and we have checked if it is interactive. This is interactive method helps the system to determine whether or not this is the user doing it, or if it is some other backend configuration. If it is a backend configuration, please allow. That's why answer equal to true. If it is returning a true value to this global variable answer, then here my decision type says deny unless. Deny unless answer is validated as true. So if it is true, then it would remove the deny permission. If it is false, for example, this condition that we are validating, what is that condition? That it is a child incident and the user doesn't have the role incident manager. So if it is a child incident and if the user doesn't have the role incident manager, then please deny. Okay, continue to deny. So deny unless the incident is a child incident and the user has a incident manager role. That's what we are trying to establish here. But if it is child incident and a person with non-incident manager role, please continue to deny. For any other logic, for any other scenario, please allow. Only for this particular condition being evaluated through, please block. That's what is configured on the ACL, and we have configured the same for category. There was no ACL, existing ACL on the incident table or on the task table. So we just created a allow if. All right. So we didn't have the need to create a deny unless. So we just allowed the right permission only if this condition is met. So what we have done is, I'll just go to that ACL. Allow if it's getting configured by some backend configurations like business rules, etc. Please allow. Otherwise, validate for if the user has no roles incident manager, and if it is a child incident, return false. So this exclamation outside the bracket is to return false. Okay.
Now that we took a look at how impact and category are configured, it is the same way for subcategory as well as urgency. So impact is configured to deny unless there is a incident manager on the record and the record is a child record. The same is what is configured for incident urgency as well. And for category, we have allowed it explicitly because there were no other ACLs on category and subcategory. So just the allow ACL is what was required and we have configured it. Do notice that we have returned, there is a exclamation mark. So this one is validating for not having the incident manager role, and the whole condition is negated. We are returning a false value for the whole condition. Even if this is evaluated as true, that the person doesn't have an incident manager role and he is on a child incident, we are returning a false value. This is what we have configured on the category as well. This one is for the subcategory. We have configured the same for the category as well. And for urgency, just like the impact one, we have first validated if it is being written by some business rule or some other backend logic, then return it as true. Okay, keep allowing it. Otherwise, validate if this condition is evaluated, right? Parent incident, that is child, if the current record is a child incident and the person doesn't hold a incident manager role, keep denying it. Okay, return the answer false and keep denying it. Otherwise, return the value true and allow writing to this particular field. So we are almost covering all the scenarios here with these ACLs that has been defined. I hope it makes sense. So thank you very much for watching the video. We'll catch up with some other use case and some other new learning. Thank you very much.